Oh, that was a game last night. That was a game. Lamar Jackson, he's still special. Derek Carr, he just might be special. The Las Vegas Raiders balled out. My man Keyhawn got something to say about that. You know I got something to say about that. And Molly's always here.
Hey.
To say something. Even when it's about UConn. You never know.
Okay, relax. Let's go. Start the show.
First takes in the house. See how rude she can be to me? See how rude she can be to me? First takes in the house.
It's Monday Night Football!
Lamar under pressure.
I taught him that at the Manning.
I had multiple lives tonight. I don't like playing like that. It was tough, but again, we did a lot of really good things to win that football game tonight.
Well, thank goodness he resurrected in the end. All right, after week one, Derek Carr leads the league in passing yards, 435 yards and completions of 20 or more yards with 17. Those are looking like elite numbers. So here, Keyhawn, to what you alluded to before, is what you said last week when I asked you, who are the elite quarterbacks in the league in the same category as an Aaron Rodgers or a Tom Brady?
When we talk about greatness,
elite.
It's very limited.
Okay.
I give it to like four or five dudes.
All right, fair enough. Key, you're adding anyone to that list?
See, I like Derek Carr, but that's just me.
Oh, my God.
Me.
You said that publicly?
I like Derek Carr.
Did you just say that on national TV?
Yes, I did.
We brought up Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. You're saying on national television that Derek Carr belongs in that conversation?
I like Derek Carr for that. I don't care what people think. I like him.
People by you, that would be Steven. Steven, hey, I'm here to give you a little bit of, you know how you do the Dallas Cowboy fans
Yes,
and
sir.
you laughing?
Yeah.
I'm here to do you like that.
Okay.
Because when we talk about elite quarterbacks, right?
Okay.
You talk about statistics. Statistics are like, oh my God. Well, he's leading the league after week one, so I think that puts him in an elite category. Not only that, over the last 3 years,
Week one.
but over the last 3 years, look at his numbers with John Gruden.
Yeah.
It ain't been his fault that the Oakland Raiders have been not making the playoffs. He's done everything capable. I was getting killed, K-I-L-T, on Twitter yesterday for about the first quarter or so. They didn't watch the whole game.
That's right.
You got to watch the whole game.
Yeah, I agree.
You got to look at the situation.
I agree.
Look at it in overtime. There was 3 essential touchdowns that was given to Carr. The one where Edwards fell down on the ground, let's just give him that as a touchdown.
Okay.
The ball goes through the receiver's hand, interception. That wasn't on him. That's the damn receiver.
That's correct.
And then the one to cap it off with a casino blitz coming, he heaves it, boom, in Zaya Jones' hands. That's another touchdown.
Right.
That's another one. Dropped it in the bucket.
That's right.
That's what Aaron Rodgers would do. That's what Tom Brady, Russell Wilson. Okay, am I missing somebody?
No.
Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
So how is he not in that area? Yes, Patrick Mahomes is at one level. Aaron Rodgers is at another. Tom Brady, Russell Wilson.
Right.
But you can't tell me when you get to 5, 6, 7, there's the top level, then there's another level, Stephen A. He's at that other level. Okay, he ain't surpassed them. All of those guys I mentioned, they got MVP trophies, except Russell Wilson.
Right.
But he should be getting one this year.
Okay.
He should be getting
Russell
Wilson.
Okay.
He should be getting one this year.
Okay.
But when you look at Carr, and you look at Dak Prescott, and you look at Josh Allen, and some of the other quarterbacks, they're at one level. Okay, Matthew Stafford, they're all at the same level. There's 4 guys ahead of everybody else, and everybody else is kind of together.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
All right. Well, first of all, I like that soliloquy. I like how you picked that up. That was real slick on your part. Because you see, you talking to somebody that knows you. You talking to somebody that knows how to quote people. Okay. I'm a pro at that. Now, if you recall, Molly is here as my witness.
Yeah.
I said, did you mention those dudes and Derek Carr on the same level as those dudes? That was our argument. I never said Derek Carr can't play. I never said he was a scrub. This is a dude.
But I never said you said he was a scrub.
I understand that. I understand that. But what I'm saying is he ain't on that level. Not to me. Now, here's the deal. Last 3 years, in fairness to Derek Carr, he's thrown for over 4,000 yards.
Yes.
He's completed 68% of his passes, 70% of his passes right now. Last year, he was at 67%. And obviously, he had last night, threw for 435 yards. We know that Derek Carr can play. He's not a scrub. The man does not have one playoff win on his resume. That matters to me, Keyhawn. That matters to me. This is 8th year in the league.
Yes.
Now, I do understand there's a lot of components to the sport of football, and I'm not about to challenge you in terms of your knowledge of football.
But it's not even a challenge.
But I know that. But what I'm saying is this. I get to look at the impact people like yourself are big on pointing to when it comes to quarterbacks, how they can affect an outcome. Again, I'm not throwing shade, no Super Bowl or anything, but 8 years, you got one playoff appearance, which, by the way, you didn't play because you were injured, kind of cooked through that, the quarterback that game. You don't have a single playoff performance on your resume. And you're going to talk to me about the word elite being associated with Derek Carr? No, I'm not letting you get away with that.
Yeah,
no.
but here's what I would say to you, Stephen A. When you start breaking down those 8 years,
Okay.
what's the best receiver he ever played with, though?
Okay.
Man? No,
Okay.
there is no okay.
Okay. All right,
There is
listen.
no okay. The
Listen.
best wide receiver, not tight end,
I tell you, I was going to
was
bring up
Amari
Waller.
Cooper.
That's right. And hold on, wait a minute. Well, what's wrong with Amari Cooper?
No, but
there's nothing to sneeze at.
saying since then,
Okay.
he ain't had nobody. They drafted Henry Ruggs in the first round last year. What do
I
you
like Ruggs.
26
Nelson
catches?
Aguilar dropped his share passes. I'll give you that.
So when you start to think about it,
Caught one
Jacobs,
this
they just got him.
Okay.
They hit the reboot when John Gruden came in. They blew the thing up. He's had 5 different makeshift offensive lines. He was missing people again last night.
Well, listen, you're giving me reasons as to
And he had no damn defense.
That is absolutely true. They were ranked 30th last year.
But see, the problem that I have with people like you
Okay.
is Matthew Stafford in Detroit, he'll get a pass. Oh, he gets a pass, Molly.
When did I give Matthew Stafford a pass?
No. Y'all be giving him a pass. Y'all give him a pass because he didn't have a team, but he's electrifying. Okay, yes.
Ooh.
But now he has a team. He may go to the Super Bowl and win because
goodness.
he has a team in LA now.
Oh my goodness. Now you see, this is the dude, right? That did, you know what? That's why he was suspect about the media. Then he became a member of the media, now you quoting people and you misquoting me. Listen, I am the one that sat up there, Keyhawn, and said, "Yo, let Matthew Stafford prove himself now. Now that you with a team and you ain't stained, you're contaminated by the Detroit Lions. We gonna see what you worth. Well, nobody big up and Matthew Stafford. Don't try me with that. That's number one. Number two, again, I'm looking at 8 years. You talking about the defense. I give you that. You're talking about wide receivers. All I'm saying to you is this. Keyhawn,
Stephen A.
Can you show, when you talk about elite, that's all I'm saying. You give me reasons as to why.
When you don't have things around you, you look different. He has not had anything around him. He finally got some small pieces on that offensive side with John there, and he looks like an elite quarterback to me.
Okay, and I'm saying to you right now, I have no problem with the wait and see approach. What I have a problem with is that we just going to ignore. They beat Kansas City last year. They were 6-3. They were good enough to be 6-3. Then in 6 weeks, they lost 5 of those games, okay, and fell off the map. We just going to ignore that.
And they got a new defensive coordinator. They got a defensive coordinator because of that. Now, if you come to me when I'm on this show in week 9 and you laughing and you doing your little cowboy hat thing and all that.
I'm going to wear the cowboy hat, but that's for the Cowboys.
Oh, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Right. Then you come to me in week 9 and tell me, because I don't think he's going to fall off a cliff. Okay. I honestly think he's going to be consistent. I honestly think he's going to pass for about 4,700.
And I'm saying let him do it. What's wrong with that?
But I'm here to forecast the future.
Okay.
So I think he's going to be great.
And I'm chronicling the past to some degree. So what's the problem? I'm not saying he ain't going to do it. I'm not saying he's not going to throw for 5,000 yards. I think Derek Carr might have a good year.
But you ridiculed me when I said he's a top 5, 6, 7 quarterback.
No, I ridiculed you for mentioning him in the same sentence as Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, and Patrick Mahomes.
Have you not mentioned people in sports in the same sentence with other guys and they may have not accomplished the same things? Yes, you have.
Yes, I have.
Yes, I have. I know you have.
Yes, I have.
Because I was going to go get the tape.
Yeah, I got it. But I have done that. But I was saying this is their potential. I didn't say they were there.
And neither did I.
You didn't say that last week?
No.
You didn't say that
I didn't say
he's
they
an
were
elite
there.
quarterback? You didn't say that?
I didn't say they was there.
You didn't say he was
said he
elite?
was an elite quarterback. Yeah.
He is. You said they as in team.
I'm saying him.
I think he is.
I don't think he's on the level of the elite quarterback.
Now, Molly, I'm about to be an athlete real quick.
Okay.
I think I'm the only person on this desk that's ever caught passes from quarterbacks.
That's true.
So I would think I know what a quarterback
That's
like.
true. That's true. I knew he's gonna play that card. That's what he does. I can't knock him because we can have private conversations.
Real early.
We can have private conversations on the phone. Yeah. He'll do the same thing there, so he's consistent. I got it.
Guess what?
I got it.
You'll really be paying attention to him this week because you know who he's facing?
What?
Your Steelers.
Oh yeah.
In Pittsburgh.
Raiders.
Yeah.
No, that's a loss. That's an
Yeah.
L.
Oh,
That's
okay.
coming.
So
That's an L.
I didn't say I was a Raiders fan.
That's an L. That's
All
coming.
right. Let's focus on the other side, guys. Lamar Jackson, who's really being asked to do more than most quarterbacks in the league. And some would call it a one-man offense. Lamar Jackson accounting for 63% of Baltimore's total plays. His 321 yards accounted for 79% of their total yards. Lamar had 2 fumbles yesterday. One was very costly in OT.
I hate fumble. I hate any type of turnover. But the first one that tipped me off because we had them right. It was right down there. You know, they little punch zone. They could have scored right then and there. That tipped me off. Then the last one, just 2 hands on the ball. Try to have 2 hands on the ball. Could have just took a sack if anything, but it happens. Football.
Well, Keyhawn, since you know quarterbacks more than anyone at this desk, are they putting too much on Lamar's shoulders?
You know, I go back and forth here. I don't know that they are because this is who he is. But then at the same time, they are because he has to be Superman for them to be as successful as they need to be. They went out and drafted Rashad Bateman. We know what Dobbins means to them. With Marcus Peters out of the lineup, that hurt them last night. There's no Matt Judon, but he is what he is. I mean, he is a quarterback that deserves to be paid like a quarterback, although he has a special skill set like no other quarterbacks in the league right now.
Right.
And so in order for them to go where they're trying to go, he's got to carry them until he gets the help. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. I think that the Baltimore Ravens go as far as Lamar Jackson can take them. I mean, that's just it.
Here's where I'm at with Lamar Jackson. I think he's an electrifying talent.
For sure.
My only issue with him is consistency in terms of throwing the football, but and some of the decision making. But he is big time. He's electrifying, no doubt about it. And are they putting too much on him? Sure. Particularly when you got like 3 dudes at the running back position. They all came down with ACL injuries in the last 2 weeks from crying out loud. Even though I think Latavius Murray is a good pickup for them. I really do.
3 days ago, and he scores a touchdown.
That's right. I will say this, and the only reason why he didn't last in New Orleans is because of money issue.
Yeah.
He's going to be a backup to Kamara, and they didn't want to pay him that much. It's the only reason. They know he could ball too. Here's my issue with Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. When I think about Lamar Jackson, are they putting too much on his shoulders? You're damn right they are. And that's exactly why he deserves Josh Allen money. Lamar Jackson should be signing for $250 million.
He will?
Minimum.
No,
he definitely.
I don't think that's going to be a problem,
Right.
Stephen A., on whether or not he's going to get what he deserves.
Right.
It's just a matter of how it's structured
Right.
and all of those things. Because, again, I'll say it again. He gives them the best chance to go where they're trying to go.
That's right.
That's why they ran Flacco out of town
That's right.
and drafted him and put him in the lineup.
He's electrifying. There's no doubt about it. And they put a lot on him. And even though they went out, they got Sammy Watkins and a few other pieces, and they still got Hollywood Brown in a whole bit. And they got some cats that can make plays. When I look at the Ravens, it's almost, Keyhawn, and educate me on this, it's almost as if they say, well, we got Lamar, so we don't have to do, but yeah.
He has to be better.
Okay.
Better. Because he is consistent at what he does. He just has to be better, Stephen A. And on top of being better, again, I'll say it one more time. He is what he is. They are in a front team, meaning like they need leads. They're not a from behind team. That's not how they built. They like to get leads and sustain the lead.
But I don't subscribe to your theory in terms of you just are what you are. At some point in time, yes, but with his youth, you can improve now. You can improve.
You can, but you're asking him to improve at a level like the other quarterbacks. When you get into the playoffs and you make deep runs into the playoffs, all you need to do is not turn the ball over and make a handful of throws when you need to. Their recipe is we're going to play lights out defense, we're going to run the ball, and we're going to allow you to make 1 or 2 throws that will make an impact in this game.
But because of his elusivity, the way he can be so evasive, running the football from the quarterback position, that is a dynamic that he brings to the table that no other quarterback brings, not even Michael Vick back in his day, not to this level, okay? We understand that. So he doesn't have to be Patrick Mahomes. He doesn't have to be Tom Brady. You're right about that. But he still needs to be more consistent throwing the football accurately.
He needs to hit that pass that he hit last night in the back of the end zone come playoff time.
Okay.
When he needs to hit that 1 or 2 times. He needs to hit a dig 1 or 2 times. And that's pretty much it.
But then he can extend plays the way other quarterbacks can't. Real quick, though, to kind of your earlier point, I feel like this is where you were getting at. What if he had Tom Brady's type weapons? How much better could he be? What is his ceiling? Is that the issue?
If he had Tom Brady's weapons, you're not going to, if he had Tom Brady's weapons, you're not going to keep him in the pocket still because you're taking away his gift. Okay. Tom Brady can't move. Tom Brady's a sub-zero refrigerator.
So talent around him is not the issue then?
Talent around him is not the overall issue for what they want to do.
Okay.
I mean, if he breaks contain and he throws the ball, I would rather for him to break contain and run the ball. Why take the chance of pushing it down the field?
But you have to admit, there are several coaches that would rather him not do that, not scramble.
But guess what?
I'm just saying.
But guess what?
Is that not true?
There's so much true.
Right.
That's why they passed on him in the draft.
Right.
Because that's what they want. But if they try to turn him into that, he's going to get you fired because that's not who he is. Okay. You got to let him be who he is. And we mentioned Michael Vick. They tried that with Michael Vick. It didn't work. Michael Vick had to go back to doing Michael Vick-like things. Right. That's what happened.
Keyhawn, let me ask you this real quick, just to go back to the Derek Carr elite thing, because I got to bring it back one more time. What if Derek Carr is the quarterback of the Baltimore Ravens? Are they winning more games?
I mean, how many more damn games you want them to win?
I'm just saying.
They went to the playoffs.
Like, would you rather have Derek Carr than Lamar Jackson?
Not in that offense.
Okay.
Not in what they want to do. They had.
What about in the Raiders offense?
It would change too much because of his skill set, Molly.
Okay.
His skill set changes everything.
It is not.
So you can't even compare it. It's not an apples to
compare.
apples
It's not
comparison.
all on Derek Carr, what's going on with the Raiders, but still, his record is 48-63 as a starter, and he doesn't have one single playoff appearance. Come on now.
If you was in the Oakland Raiders at the time, prior to moving to Las Vegas, your record would be the same way.
Okay. Well, okay.
Especially
You know how many
with you in
people?
Las
You know how many
Vegas.
people they drafted? Colin Farrell was a healthy scratch last night. The defensive end for Clemson. They wasted a first-round pick. You know how many first-round, second-round, third-round picks since they took over they've wasted? On the defensive side of the ball.
That gets us to John Gruden.
All right.
That gets us to John Gruden. Eventually.
Yeah, not right there. Stay tuned for that conversation. But by the way, they're going to have to get right against Showtime Mahomes because the Chiefs are coming to town to Baltimore Sunday. That's a tough one. All right, guys, plenty more Key versus Stephen A.
It's counting them out. And this goes all the way back to college. If you go back, don't be folding your arms. You go all the way back to Alabama benching at halftime. It is carried on throughout his career. All he's ever done from high school through college is win. Win big time. Now he gets to the pros, and they still carry it. Think about it, Molly. Here's a guy that's a starting quarterback, took in the second round, ran the number one pick, second pick overall. Carson Wentz out of town. Okay? He's now the starting quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles. People are acting like he needs to fight for his job.
Do you think that's an accurate characterization that he ran Wentz out of town?
Absolutely.
Okay.
They made a decision based on giving the keys to him to lead the franchise. I understand they went out and got Gardner Minshew. I understand there's a Deshaun Watson conversation, if, what, when, all that sort of stuff around Philadelphia. But they haven't given him a chance to even show exactly what it is that he can do. We saw on the road, rookie, basically a rookie. Let's just call him a rookie for argument's sake. On the road, in a hostile environment, your first game, you go to hot Atlanta, and I know Atlanta's in a rebuilding situation, but it's the National Football League. Every team, every single week is giving their best punch. He goes down there, takes care of business, wins. But they still act like, oh, you can get an upgrade here. We don't know about him. We're still evaluating him. No, that's total disrespect. He's going to continue to show you. One thing I want you to pay attention to, Molly, is quarterbacks around the league, players around the league.
Hold on. She ain't the one that got a problem with what you said.
But she asked a question.
I know that, but I want you to look at me saying what you're saying. I'm looking at what you're looking at.
You can tell me. I'll pay attention. Tell me when I need to pay attention to
But she posed the question.
I understand.
So I'm going to respect her and look at her.
I understand.
But now that you open your mouth, I'm going to turn to you.
Thank you. Go ahead.
So now that you say you think what you think, Stephen A.
Okay.
If he's not being disrespected, how come people are acting like he's fighting to keep the starting job? Like as if he did not just win on the road.
May I answer that question?
Go right ahead.
That's because his coach. His coach, which you know, because you know your football and you know the news and you follow it being the professional that you are. You remember, they had Joe Flacco over there.
Yeah.
And Nick Sirianni's like, I don't know who the starting quarterback is. Really? What do you mean you don't know who the starting quarterback is? Are you kidding me? What drug are you sniffing, Nick Sirianni? What are you talking about? You don't know who the starting quarterback when everybody and their mother knew Jalen Hurts was supposed to be the starter.
But that ain't got nothing to do with Jalen.
No, I answered your question, the question that you just posed. I'm getting to Jalen Hurts. I'm just answering the question you just posed. That's where we got it from. Because the head coach, who's watching him every day in practice, who's with him, who's the new guy in charge now, okay, that Doug Peterson is going, that dude refused to acknowledge that man was just starting quarterback. Now let's get to Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is a stud athlete, and he's done a damn good job playing the quarterback position. He won at Alabama.
Yes.
Okay. And oh, by the way, won at Oklahoma. Last year at Oklahoma, got him to the playoffs.
Yes.
33 touchdowns, 8 interceptions.
Yes.
69.7% completion. I get all of that. Now, the national championship game, because I was there in attendance and I saw, he was awful.
Okay.
No. It's just one game. But
okay.
He was awful.
Did you see Trevor Lawrence this past season against Ohio State?
I did.
Okay.
But we also know what Trevor Lawrence did prior to that, too.
And we know what Jalen Hurts did prior to that.
No. That season, Jalen Hurts repeatedly has shown he had trouble accurately throwing the damn football. That's a fact. Now let's get to the NFL.
But that's the whole point, Stephen A. Is people are still cut on that.
Keith, let me answer you, bro. You ain't going nowhere. You here. Let me answer you. Now let's get to Jalen Hurts in the NFL. If I said to you in 4 starts, you completed 52% of your passes. You threw 6 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, and your record was 1-3. I understand that there's more to it than that, but it's not beyond the realms of comprehension that somebody would look at him and say, okay, show me. So what's wrong with people? See, this is the problem, and this is what we're just like you, the football player, and I have to defer to you. This is the media, so I have to come to our defense to some degree, being the fact that I'm approaching 30 years up in this joint. Let's understand something.
I'm 10 behind you.
That's about 10 behind me. That's true. But here's the deal. That's not hating. Stop that.
But she didn't say hating. She said disrespect.
That's not disrespectful. What's disrespectful about going like this, Key? Okay, this is your record, and on top of it all, you completed 52% of your passes. We know you're not a scrub. We know you could play. You belong in the NFL.
But it's all context.
What's wrong with showing us, man?
Stephen A.
What's wrong with that?
Last year, you're thrust into the lineup.
Okay.
You have nobody. I don't even know who the receivers were a year ago.
That's true.
They were not very good.
That's right.
Okay. This year, they drafted Devontae Smith. They got Jalen Rigger. They got a nice running game. The offensive line is okay. It's different.
Right.
And you still acting like he's got to prove
Yes.
or else
They had people playing
Gardner
receiver that weren't
Minshew
even
is going to
receivers.
take over or something.
He has to prove it in terms of him being. No, ain't nobody thinking about no Gardner Minshew. We saying you got to prove that you should be a starting quarterback in the NFL. That's all. And then you brought up Carson Wentz. He didn't run Carson Wentz out of town.
Well,
Carson Wentz ran Carson Wentz out of town.
It helped them make a decision. It helped them make a decision.
Well, Carson Wentz and Doug Peterson weren't on the same page. Doug Peterson and Howie Roseman weren't on the same page. It was chaotic.
Yeah, but when you draft somebody, you put somebody behind them, Stephen A.
Right.
It's just like me going, never mind.
Don't do it.
If I get somebody and put them behind you,
that's right.
then you be sitting over there doing like this too.
All right.
I mean, that's the reality of it.
I understand.
You know, and so in the end, I think he is being disrespected by his play that he's putting on the field. People act like he is not going to perform at a high level.
No, they're not acting like he's not going to perform. They're saying, show us. That's what you're supposed to do.
And he's showing you. He's showing you.
He showed us last week against Atlanta.
Yes.
Is anybody calling for him to be benched? I didn't hear that. Did you hear that? He's going to be starting quarterback next week, ain't he? What's the problem? I understand you. Listen. As the former #1 overall pick, I recall you getting drafted by the New York Jets and you having to go out there and prove yourself. What's wrong with him doing it?
And he's doing it.
Okay.
He's going to do it.
And we're going to recognize it when he does.
Okay.
What's the problem? That ain't disrespecting him. Come on.
Let me tell you something about
What's wrong with you,
Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. loves the competition and he loves the resume. So he needs to see him against more competition.
That's all.
Okay.
It's going to be the Niners defense this week. So guess what? Next Tuesday, let's revisit this conversation.
It's no problem.
Let's see how he hangs against them. Fair?
All I'm asking you is that You are a brilliant, astute football analyst because you played the game and you know it backwards and forwards. Stop acting like it's being disrespectful for somebody to say, show us. That's not disrespectful.
But you ain't saying show to the other second and rookies and second-year quarterbacks.
Yeah, we are.
No, you're not.
Yes,
no,
we
you're
are.
Not. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not.
Oh, we not.
Herbert?
No, you're not.
Where you been?
No,
Are you kidding me?
Herbert, Burrow, no, we're not saying it to them.
See?
Those are the second-year quarterbacks.
Second-year quarterbacks. You ain't saying
I'm
about
saying
Herbert
we
and Burrow.
Did you see Justin Herbert play last year?
Oh, I saw him.
And what about Joe Burrow before he got hurt?
telling you, those are the second-year guys.
Well, I'm just saying, we ain't saying it.
Hold up. Because they showed us. We said it when
He showed
So one game ain't good enough for you.
No.
Keyhawn, hold on 1 second. Did you feel like
Maybe my eyes just see things different. How about that?
See, he's so slick. Oh, yeah, okay.
Hold on. I
Okay.
got one question, Keyhawn, before we go to break. Did you feel like Sirianni disrespected him by not even naming him the starter to the very last minute?
No. Why would I name him a starter right now, Molly? For what? What's the reasoning behind it? I want him to continue to just keep developing. I don't want
For
him
his
to
own
take
confidence?
anything. I want him to develop. I don't want to make him nor other people on the team feel like we're just giving you something. We know in the building what the deal is, right? Like Stephen A. said, we not stupid. You ain't messing with no damn Joe Flacco. We know that.
Right.
But Stephen A. wants to hear that. Why?
Oh. So the coach.
Why?
With the coach whose job is to put the team in the best position to win.
Yes.
The coach doesn't want to publicly make a declaration. And because the coach doesn't want to make the public declaration, we in the media on the outside are disrespectful for pointing that out.
Starving for the declaration. Coaches aren't going. How many coaches you see? Well, Stephen A., you brought it up.
I'm just saying.
You said that the coach wouldn't name him the starter to the end of the season. I mean, to the end of the preseason.
Right.
So therefore, he may be the one disrespecting him. He's not going to tell the media and the public what he's thinking.
I'm not saying he's disrespectful. I'm saying it's not disrespectful for us to question it if the damn coach hasn't publicly acknowledged he's the quarterback.
Question the coach, not the quarterback.
Oh, my Lord. The players gonna play, right? I don't know what the coach
Everybody in that damn locker room, Stephen A., knows and knew at that time that Jalen Hurts was going to be the quarterback.
So did we.
So get up on the little podium thing and talk to
Did we
the head coach.
Did we not go off about Nick Sirianni? Did we not go off about him? We went off about him too, bro.
Okay.
Yes, we did.
All right.
Okay. See, you done started something. He got an extra listener on Keyhawn in the morning. I'm gonna be listening to you. You
got a lot of shows to be listening to now.
That's right.
That list is getting lengthy.
And you know what? I listen to them all. They ain't gonna get away with coming on here.
Some of it's
acting
on
like
the
they ain't said it.
elliptical, not just sitting on the couch.
I'll be listening. Man.
It's our first Stephen.
Been 8-8 for like 20 years, and everybody still tunes in. Wow. Shots fired.
Here we go, live and in person. I love it. No one has been more critical of a Stevens A-list or B-list than Jeff Saturday. So we called Jeff, and he obliged. We needed 2 Super Bowl champions for this one. Week 1 is in the books. Stephen A., do not disappoint.
You ain't got to look at me like that, Molly. You ain't got to look at me like that. Let me tell y'all something, America, right now. This might be one of the most offensive times in my life on First Take. Not only do they have me standing up here, Jeff Saturday is not only in studio, the man took my seat. And we all know how critical Keyhawn can be. He don't give me any slack whatsoever. But it's all right, okay? It's time for Stevens A-list, and I'm going to give you week to week my top 5 teams in the NFL at that particular time. Number 5 on the list, give it to me. The Steelers right there. Why? I thought the Buffalo Bills were supposed to be a Super Bowl contender, but Big Ben, okay? They were on their home turf. There was no Odell Beckham Jr. in the lineup, and that's what it took for them to walk away with this victory. But that's nothing to sneeze at. They're number 3 for a reason, because they ain't one of the top 2. Give me number 2, please. Bam! The New Orleans Saints. Why? Jameis Winston was supposed to be that dude that comes and replaces Drew Brees. He's going to struggle. Last time we saw him, 33 touchdowns, 30 interceptions, giving new meaning for 30 for 30. Please don't turn over the football. What does the dude do? Throws 5 TDs, not a single interception, was absolutely poised in the pocket, made sure he didn't make any mistakes, showing that tutelage from Drew Brees, along with Sean Payton, is beneficial. And the Saints, they squashed the Tampa Bay Bucks not once but twice last year. They start off this season, their defense is doing some things. The New Orleans Saints right now, I got to give them their props after week 1. But we know who's number 1, right? We know who's number 1. Give it to me right here. Bam! The reigning, defending Super Bowl champion, Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Tom Brady. Antonio Brown showed up, and remind you there's levels to this. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, y'all are big time, but y'all ain't me. You still got Gronk looking younger in the whole 9. Look at this list right here. I got the Bucs 1, the Saints 2, the Chiefs 3, the Cardinals 4, the Steelers 5.
You feel
what's going on, man?
Are you feeling all right?
I'm feeling great.
Because you done lost your mind. Listen, usually I give them a B on this list. This is a C list. You're 40% wrong. Right in here. All 3, 4, and 5 dead wrong. This might be the 3rd best team in their division, dog. 3rd best.
I said after week 1. It's fluid.
No.
Fluid.
Seahawks. 12-4 last year. They got better. They got Waldron, the offensive coordinator, who's going to make them so much better because they actually have an intermediate and a small, short pass game for Russell Wilson. Their D-line, they torched the Colts. They beat the brakes off them. Score wasn't indicative. The Steelers. Are you serious?
Yes!
I'm
serious.
Bro, their offense was anemic. They couldn't even move the ball. They had a special teams touchdown to beat the Bills. Listen, it's a great win. But the Browns aren't better than the Steelers? The Browns lost.
You got the L.
No.
You got the L.
It's who you playing. How you have them 3, you done lost your mind. Like, this group right here beat the next best team in the league right now. Those 2 that played, that's going to be a matchup. So right now you're 40%
I'm just talking
wrong.
about 1.
So this right here, can we make that a C? Can we put a C somewhere on the list? We got 2. Bucks I like. Saints got to be underneath the Chiefs for sure. We got 1, 2, 3, and then these 2. No, sir.
The Saints beat the Green Bay Packers by 35.
And Aaron Rodgers hadn't even been in Green Bay for 6 months. He's on some other tour where he's walking around rainforest and falls and all kind of stuff. Walks back in and realizes you better get yourself in check because you just got smoked. He will be back and be better. They beat a team that was not prepared. The Packers will be better. That was one of them days. It just got out of hand.
It's week 1. It's week 1. The list is fluid.
You started
week
slow.
1, this is good.
You started
this
slow.
Is good.
I'm with you. We got a lot of weeks.
No, I'm going to stay in this. Don't go nowhere, Jeff.
Okay.
Come on in,
So
Jeff.
let's start at 1.
Come on, Jeff.
Let's start at 1.
What's wrong with that?
They beat your Dallas Cowboys, man. Barely.
Barely.
They screwed up and left 1:24 on the damn clock. So you're going to drop them down on my list. They going down here to 3. 3 going to 1.
Yeah.
Why?
3 going to 1.
Yes.
Because the Cleveland Browns are for real.
Yes, sir.
They gave
Yes, sir.
them a run for their money, and guess what? They took care of business against Cleveland.
Yep.
Okay? Took care of business
On their home
against
turf
Doesn't
without
matter.
Odell Beckham Jr.
Doesn't
They didn't have
matter.
Matthew.
Even if they had OBJ, it didn't matter. Cleveland is number 1. The Bucks dropped to 3.
I disagree. Go ahead.
Why would you disagree?
Because I'm telling you right now. Oh, wait. First of all, you're the reigning defending champion. Everybody's giving you their A game. That wasn't good enough.
You at home.
The Chiefs.
You at home playing against a quarterback that's coming off injury. Okay. No offensive line.
Yep.
Offensive got rookies on defense.
Everybody else was there. What's the problem? I mean, Leon Collins won't be there now.
He won't be there.
He'll be gone for 5 games. But he was there. He was there Thursday night.
Some people say that this team could be potentially the best team in Buccaneer history.
Okay.
And so now
it wasn't me.
I'm just saying.
It wasn't me.
So we're gonna drop them down.
I know.
Then you talk about the Cardinals.
What's wrong with it?
And they played Tennessee,
Yeah.
man.
That's not the same.
So we
Let me tell you, that
just
ain't
go
the
to
same.
Tennessee Titans right now?
Yes.
Why?
Have
They
you
ain't
seen that
practice,
defense?
bro. Defense and
Vrabel's
ain't
supposed
practice.
to be a defensive guru. That's how he got the job.
That's right.
I ain't seen the defense since he been here.
But hey, be honest though, they hadn't played. They hadn't practiced. Brown, Julio,
Yeah.
all of it, right? The whole coach. They ain't practiced
At all.
Showed. It
So
showed.
we're going to get rid of that. We're going to slide the Rams in here at 4.
Okay.
The Rams. With Matthew Stafford, it's a different team. It's a different team. I didn't
That
think
whole
it would
division's
be.
nasty.
That's a different
They
team.
play Chicago. They're playing
But
against Andy
Chicago
Dalton.
was
I'm not
supposed to be-
talking.
Chicago was supposed to be a fire defense,
I understand that. I understand that, but they play.
I don't mind you having Pittsburgh at 5.
Right.
No.
Because they did go into a hostile environment.
That's right. Against Bills Mafia.
Against Bills Mafia, and their
Browns
defense
are
was
better
lights
than
out.
Steelers.
You know,
What about Saints?
the
What about
Browns,
Saints here? What about
the
Saints?
Saints is cool sitting at
Yeah,
2.
it's cool.
Yeah, I don't got
They
no
play
problem with
good.
that.
Okay. They play
I
legit.
think they're in front of the Buccaneers. I do. I honestly do.
I like it.
Okay, I'm being told that Mina Kimes wants to get in on this.
Oh.
There
There we go.
Oh, she just
Wow.
oh, God.
I think you
Everybody's
guys go
after me now.
easier on Stephen A. because I think he's confused. I think he thought that it just meant the 5 best teams this week, not the 5 best teams in the NFL. Because
No, just
holy
this week.
recency bias, Batman. Like, in what universe are the Saints better than the Chiefs just because they won one game that kind of got out of hand? As Jeff said, the Cardinals aren't even the best team in their division. Neither are the Steelers. This list is bananas.
Hold on a minute. Hold on. Before you really get at me, here's the deal. The list is fluid. It's just this week. It's not going to see. This is just this week following week 1.
Yeah,
This
but we
is
know
what my
these
list
teams
is
are.
right now. This will change the weeks
I
that go
hope
on.
so.
It's just this week. It's just this week, Mina.
So you're only basing it on one game, not considering trying to
Yes.
evaluate
In other
it?
words, it changes every week. Every week I do an A list on this. So that's this week. That's what it is. That's all it is.
I can't believe you got the Cardinals in there.
I don't see them. They walloped them. They blew them out.
Seattle go on the road against a tough Indy
Oh,
defense.
please. No, the
What you mean,
listen,
please?
Listen, they don't. Who's the quarterback right now? I mean, come on now.
I'm not even
Come on
talking about
now.
the quarterback.
I mean,
I'm
that's
talking
what
about
I'm looking at.
what Russell Wilson was able to do against the D.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when your
Let 'em
offense
up.
can't do anything, you're going to get more opportunities,
Oh,
more bites
man,
at the
no,
apple.
man,
And that's how that happens.
No.
That's how that,
No.
Yo, hold on, I'm lying.
Even
you
the loss.
You
Listen,
two don't know that
even
I'm not
the
lying?
loss, even the loss, the Browns have got to be up there. Even with the loss, the Browns
can't-
got to be up there.
no.
Listen, the Browns, if the Browns have a different punter, it's a different game.
You're not getting
Just letting you
you're
know.
not getting on my list with an L.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen, Jeff
But
Saturday.
it's the best
Not
5
with
of the
L.
week. Is the
Not
best
with
5 of the
L.
week because they played the best team in the NFL.
All right, we got to
You
wrap
gotta
it
have
up.
an argument with the Colts, okay?
No.
Than that.
No.
I'm
See,
not getting on my list
yes,
with an L.
yes,
No.
yes.
Oh, it
You
won.
can't-
Are you going to be on my list?
No. Yes.
No.
If it's the top 5 teams, it is. If it's the top 5 teams.
Really?
Yes.
Really? So I just.
Yes.
So how come Seattle? How come not Seattle?
Seattle should be in there. They should
know,
be above the Cardinals.
I don't.
And the Steelers got to
Like,
be out
I
the Browns.
really don't mind. I would switch that, drop that down. I
Yeah.
can move the Saints to the Bucks
Everybody
around.
can hit the top
Down
3, man.
Here,
Come on.
yeah.
All right,
40%.
gentlemen. Okay. Party's over. Like, we're on TV. We got to go to break.
All right.
The AFC West showed up and showed out week 1, going to perfect 4-0. Are they the best division in the AFC? Stephen A. and Mina Kimes debate that next. Plus, speaking of the West, those late against a tough opponent, Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, AFC West teams went a perfect 4-0 in week 1. The Chiefs beat the Browns. The Chargers took out Washington, our nation's capital, and Denver defeated the New York Giants. Now, we know the NFC West has the NFC on lock, but what about the AFC West, or AFC in general? And for that, we bring in our Mina Kimes. Mina, talk to me. Who has the best division in the AFC?
It's the AFC West, and not just because of last night. I mean, let's look at this logically, guys. First of all, you got the Chiefs, who, despite Stephen A's comical list, are one of the best 2 teams in football by everyone's estimation. Don't need to explain that. The Chargers have a quarterback who's rising, could be a top 5 passer by the end of the year. A very ascendant defense as well. Derwin James finally healthy. Joey Bosa, who we don't talk about enough, looked like the best pass rusher not named Chandler Jones this week. The Broncos, who have a deep, maybe one of the deepest rosters in football, so complete, getting competent quarterback play. You saw that on display. And finally, the Raiders, who are feisty. Stephen A is going to argue the AFC North, so I'm going to get out in front of him and say the Browns are very good. They're the best team in the division, but clearly not up to snuff with the Chiefs. The Ravens are battered. That is why they lost. The Steelers have an elite defense, but no offense. And the Bengals, they're just not there yet.
Well, first of
Let's
all,
hear it.
I don't appreciate you trying to get ahead of me because you got to lead that argument to me. That's number one. Number two, I mean, I thought Mina Kimes was my girl. I mean, she came in chopping and slicing me up. I mean, damn, she wasn't supposed to be on until this segment. Came in a segment early just to chew me out.
She had to check you a little bit.
She's probably talking to Molly. That's what that was about.
It's on
That's
the
all right.
list,
That-
man.
That's okay. Hey, listen, it's fluid. It's fluid. Every week to week, it's fluid. I'm gonna roll with the AFC North though. First of all, my Steelers. We gonna roll that out there. Okay. The defense showed up. They handled their Bills Mafia. Could you win something first, please? Bills Mafia. Steeler Nation rose up, showed up there by Niagara Falls and handled their business. That's number one. Cleveland Browns. Keyhawn Johnson just finished talking to me about how Kansas City's supposed to be number one because Cleveland was such a formidable foe, even without Odell Beckham Jr. We understand what they bring to the table, okay, offensively, and the defense will be improved. And we like Kevin Stefanski and what he's been doing as a coach with them, and we definitely appreciate Andrew Berry and the job that he's been doing as executive. Then, of course, we go into Baltimore. We saw them last night. Shouldn't have lost the game, ended up losing the game. Obviously, a 55-yard field goal with 2 seconds left in regulation by the Raiders pushed it to overtime, and then we saw what happened in overtime. We see how electrifying Lamar Jackson can be, right, Keyhawn? That's what you've been saying. We also got to pay attention to Hollywood Brown, to a Sammy Watkins, to a Mark Andrews as well. And by the way, they had a few, 2 or 3 dudes that caught ACL injuries on the offensive side of the ball, and your boy Marcus Peters is out too. And still look at the way they play. This was against your elite quarterback, that is Derek Carr. So let's not forget all of that. And then, oh, by the way, you still got the Cincinnati Bengals who beat Minnesota.
Stop, man.
Who beat Minnesota. No, I'm just saying, I'm just talking about the 4 teams in the AFC North compared to the 4 teams in the AFC West. I think it's close, but I'd give the edge to the AFC North.
So, if the Cincinnati Bengals was in the AFC West, where would they be?
Where the Denver Broncos are.
They ain't better
Where the Denver Broncos are. Where the Denver Broncos would be is what I'm saying.
So you've been sit here and tell me and Mina right now
Right.
that the Cincinnati Bengals is right there with the Denver Broncos?
I'm not that high on the Denver Broncos. I'm not that high on the Denver Broncos. Not yet. It was nice to see what they did against the Giants, which is almost a damn bye week.
Teddy Bridgewater managed the situation, not going to turn the ball over.
That's
Let's
true.
not even talk about their defense.
Okay.
Because we know what they come with on the defensive side of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on in the West and go down south a little bit. Well, it wouldn't be south, but LA. I keep thinking San Diego.
That's right.
But
They need to go back to San Diego. That's why you said that. Because they need to go back to San Diego.
Let's go to LA Chargers.
Okay.
Let's just talk about Derwin James and Bosa. Let's talk about
I like that.
Herbert, the young quarterback. Okay? They took care of business against the Washington football defense that was supposed to be lights out. They took care of business there. And then we saw the Raider game. We saw the Kansas City game. So you sitting here to tell me a banged up, bruised up Baltimore Raven team can squeeze in the number 2 position in the AFC West?
In the AFC.
And the Pittsburgh Steelers can potentially squeeze in the number 2 team in the AFC West?
Absolutely.
Because Kansas City's number 1.
That's exactly what I'm telling you.
As much as I like Mike Tomlin in Pittsburgh, being Roethlisberger,
That's exactly what I'm telling you.
Being
That's exactly
Roethlisberger.
Excuse me.
You know what that is. The offense is not explosive.
But we know what
enough.
Teddy Bridgewater is. Okay, we know what Teddy Bridgewater is. We hope that the Raiders are going to be consistent because last year they went 1-5 over a 6-week period.
We talking about after 1 week though.
Okay. Oh, that's what we go. My bad.
We talking about
No,
1 week.
we're looking ahead, man, because Stephen A., you're in
Let's
defending
look
the
at- let's
Ravens.
look ahead then, Mina.
You brought up some of their injuries. Marcus Peters. He's not coming back, Stephen A.
I
He's
agree.
out. Like they
Jerry
got
Jeudy coming back?
major depth issues. And on the other side
Jerry
of the ball,
Jeudy back.
that offensive line last night, Ali Villanueva is their right tackle for the foreseeable future. I love the Ravens. I think Lamar Jackson is a special player, but this team is so banged up. And while there will be some reinforcements coming back, it's going to be a problem for them going forward. Like, they could not hold their own against Max Crosby and Yannick Ngakoue last night. How do you think they're going to hold their own against your Steelers? If we're looking at the entire division, the AFC West has the more balanced football teams and the healthier ones at the moment.
And Mina, not only that, the Browns had an opportunity to check that box of that win, that signature win against Kansas City. They didn't check that box. The Raiders had an opportunity to check the box. They checked the box last night. No matter what field goals was 50-plus yards or how many times
55.
they needed to score.
55 yards with 2 seconds left.
It doesn't matter.
I got you.
They checked the box.
I got you. I understand that, but what I'm saying to y'all is this. Listen, just like y'all can look ahead, I'm entitled to look a little backwards. And when I look backwards, I can see an Las Vegas Raiders squad, along with a Denver Broncos squad that finds a way to wet the bed when it matters most. The Los Angeles Chargers squad playing without a home crowd. They need to go back to San Diego because ain't nobody coming to watch them at SoFi. That's Ram Nation out there, okay? The bottom line is when you look at the AFC North, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Baltimore Ravens, they find a way to get it done and to squeeze themselves into the postseason. And Cleveland is supposed to be real this year, right? So I look at the AFC West having 2 legitimate teams and the AFC North having 3.
And I didn't even jump on you about Cincinnati.
I'm just saying. They beat Minnesota. Joe Burrow's back, okay? Jamal Chase is there, right? Okay, I'm just looking at them. All right, that's fine. I know.
All right, let me transition here, guys.
Come on,
Y'all got me with the Minnesota thing. Y'all got me with the
All right,
Minnesota
let's
thing.
transition here. Speaking of the AFC West, and I want to talk about the Raiders. So John Gruden, in his 4th season with the Raiders, this stint, 20 and 29, including last night, no playoff appearances. Mina, I'll start with you. Do you think Gruden should be on the hot seat if they don't make the playoffs this year when people like Keyhawn are calling his quarterback elite?
Yes, he should be. I mean, 4 seasons without making the playoffs, every coach in the NFL should be on the hot seat. People point to this offense and the fact that they've been efficient in the John Gruden era. I think that's totally true. He's actually a really underrated play caller, but he's the head coach of the football team. And at some point, the lack of defensive success, the fact that they've been a bottom 3 defense every year he's been the Raiders head coach, that falls on him. I think Mike Mayock is probably more likely to get sacrificed first, the GM. John Gruden has like 1 million years left on his contract, so he probably won't be on the hot seat, but he absolutely should based on his record.
Well, Mina Combs, I just want to say that I appreciate your brilliance, and that's why I wanted you on this show, my dear. Here's the deal. She's absolutely right in terms of the fact that it should be that way, but that it won't because of his contract.
Yeah.
I will remind the audience that John Gruden signed for about 10 years, $100 million, with incentives, according to my sources, that would jump into about $118 to $120 million, okay? This is the bottom line. He ain't going no damn place, but he should. And let me tell you something right now. This is the stuff that never gets said about John Gruden, so I'm going to remind everybody. He won the Super Bowl title with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in 2002. Over the next 6 years in Tampa, he only went to the playoffs twice and didn't win a single playoff game. He comes to the Las Vegas Raiders, Oakland before that, obviously, misses the playoffs all 3 years. And here's the thing that I'm looking at. Like Keyhawn pointed out, some of their picks, some of the decisions that they made, problematic. Khalil Mack trading them away to Chicago. Problematic, all right? Reason why you've had a suspect defense over the last 3 years. Don't get me started with that. And last but not least, if Derek Carr is a shell of what Keyhawn Johnson says he is, which I believe to be correct, then what the hell is the problem with John Gruden getting this team over the hump, at least to the postseason?
Well, you got to retool the defense, though, Stephen A., to start with, right? The defensive line played well last night. Okay, Rob Marinelli got those dudes playing. They got to shore up the secondary. Offensively, they're going to do exactly what you saw. They're going to methodically move the ball down the field, as you know, Mina, dink and dunk, run the football, put points on the board. The problem, though, you said about hot seat. Yeah, he's going to be on the hot seat, but he ain't going nowhere.
He ain't going nowhere.
The seat is going to be hot till next year. After that 5th year, then you can start thinking about firing him because it's a new stadium. Them fans and people going to go crazy if they don't start winning soon. And he knows that. He spoke about that last week, about knowing that they got to get into the playoffs. And Mina's right about it, Mike Mayock, which that's why Mayock is there. Because I can take him, push him to the side, kick him, bring in somebody else that really knows how to evaluate talent. That's one thing that I can say about Coach Gruden, having been with him in Tampa Bay. He don't know no talent, man. If someone's evaluating.
That's not him?
No.
Hold on.
Hell no.
Okay.
You didn't like it when he said that Darren Waller was the best player he had ever coached last night, Keyhawn?
I mean, Derek Brooks was pretty damn good. You know, he did coach Derek Brooks.
That's right.
Right? I mean, Warren Sapp was pretty good.
That's right.
Simeon Rice was pretty good.
Money talks. We all agree. He ain't going anywhere. And he's in a difficult division. I just explained. It's the best division in the AFC. If they were in the AFC South, I think we'd be talking about the Raiders potentially winning the division. But if we're holding him to the same standard that every NFL head coach has been held to before him, he should absolutely be on the hot seat.
Well, but he's not going to get held to that standard.
But let's also make sure we highlight why he's not going to get held to that same standard. Because you got an owner in Mark Davis that wants to sell tickets, and even though it's the NFL and people going to come watch it anyway, the fact that John Gruden is who he is, Chucky per se, that mystique and what gravitates towards him contributes to the Lakers being relevant. So in a smaller way, in a smaller sense, he's like a Jerry Jones wannabe from the standpoint that I want to bring attention to my franchise. just as.
This one is from @Rock0, who says, first take, the show today's awesome. Surprise with Mina Kimes, Stephen A. Getting jabs at you. First hour off the chain, and more love for Mina.
Oh.
Next, we got this one from JFT Win, who says, yeah. Gotta love Mina Kimes jumping in there, correcting with her red pen.
I mean,
Hi, Mina.
I love Mina. I love Mina to death, her and Kimberly. And I love you, Molly, but I have to confess, I'm going to have to call my sisters. I mean, the ladies have been just beating me up since last week. I mean, where's the love? Where is the love? I thought I had it.
She's correcting
It's
you.
not coming in this segment. It's clearly Seattle. Let's start with Pittsburgh. I watched this game twice versus the Bills. Steelers, elite defense, one of the 2 or 3 best in the NFL, no question. The offense, what makes you think it's going to be better than last year? I mean, Ben Roethlisberger, 56% completion percentage, average depth of target below 6 yards. The run blocking looks as bad as it did last season. Why Najee Harris averaged less than 4 yards per carry? No explosive element at all. Meanwhile, in Seattle, you got an offense that can take the roof off. Literally, Russell Wilson's passes are hitting the roof. That's an explosive aerial attack. And they look more balanced this year. That defense is improved, particularly the defensive line. 6th in the NFL in pressure percentage, got after it. Stephen A., this one's very clear. It's Seattle.
To me, it's not, Mina, and here's why. Couple of things. Number one, they were going up against the Colts. And let's just understand that with Colts and Carson Wentz, we don't even know if he's a quarterback in this league anymore, as bad as he's been the last couple of years. Okay, so we got to understand. No T.Y. Hilton there at this particular moment in time, obviously. I know they've got Jonathan Taylor there and Pascal and Pittman and those boys. But in the end, their offense right now isn't what we're accustomed to it being. They've got a new quarterback at the helm. I think you got to take that into consideration. Number two, I'm thinking about Bills Mafia. They were supposed to be a Super Bowl contender, Mina. That's what they were supposed to be, all right? And the Steelers didn't just beat them. They beat them in Buffalo, okay? They humbled the $258 million man. How about the receiver that Stephon Diggs that had about 127 receptions, about 1,575 yards last year? He was relatively neutralized as well. We've got to pay attention to that. I understand that the offense didn't look that great, but the defense is clearly top 2, as you acknowledge, and the defense is able to carry them. I don't think it's going to last forever. Najee Harris out of Alabama. I think that obviously he's going to show out eventually. They've got some questions at their offensive line. That's what they've got to develop. We understand that that's why Ben Roethlisberger was getting rid of the football relatively easy. But here's the biggest reason that I'm answering this question. I'm not trying to imply that the Steelers overall are better than the Seahawks. I got sense. I see what Seattle's doing with their offense. What I'm saying is when you talk about a higher ceiling, the road to prosperity is what? When I look at the Seattle Seahawks, you got San Francisco, Arizona, and the LA Rams in your division. You've got Green Bay. You've got Tampa Bay. You've got New Orleans in your conference. I'm looking at the Steelers. Outside of Kansas City, anybody could be had in the AFC. And that's why I said higher ceiling. More so because of the AFC compared to the NFC.
Sorry to interrupt you. I thought the AFC North was the best division in football. I heard that a few minutes ago.
But I got the Steelers winning that division.
All right, when I think higher ceiling, I think which of these teams can win a Super Bowl. I want to be clear. The Pittsburgh Steelers are going to win a lot of games this year because of their defense. They're going to gut out 20-17. But I simply do not believe this offense is going to get better because of the limitations of Ben Roethlisberger. I love Najee Harris, but that run blocking, that's going to be a problem all season, Stephen A. I love those skill players, but DBs are going to continue to press them like Buffalo did on every down. They won with a special teams play. That's not going to happen every week. Seattle's defense, I actually think, has the upside to get better. And while I agree with you that the Colts offense is not good, the Colts offensive line is good. And Seattle's D-line, which doesn't have a lot of household names but has a lot of depth, they were winning up front.
Yeah, but you got a quarterback that's just got there, even though he's accustomed to playing for that coach, because that was his offensive coordinator in Philadelphia when he was about to win league MVP, and they won the Super Bowl that year without him because he got hurt and Nick Foles stepped in. In the end, what it comes down to, you in a new system, new personnel. By the way, you missed some time during preseason because of your foot injury and stuff like that. You got all of that going on, not to even mention COVID and how he ain't vaccinated supposedly. And as a result, what type of time you spent around your teammate. So you take all of those things into consideration. Again, I go to Seattle. Who do you have to go through? You got to go through more roadblocks in the NFC than the Pittsburgh Steelers going to have to in the AFC. That's why the ceiling is appropriate here.
Here's how I'll sum it up. The question that both these teams face in terms of the ceiling is, can the Steelers get average play out of their offense? Can the Seahawks get average play out of their defense? I think the second thing is more likely.
Okay. I have something for both of you, and I think you're both going to like this for different reasons. So I don't know if you've heard of the Met Gala. It's one of the biggest events in fashion. It was over the weekend. Russell Wilson was obviously playing football, and I know you're a Sierra fan, and I know you're a Seahawks fan. Can we please pull up this picture?
Oh,
Look
wow.
what Sierra chose to
wow.
do with the dress to rep her man. Stephen A., your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I was invited. I could not make it.
Okay.
I was busy. But that outfit is spectacular, and Sierra is always spectacular. So there's nothing wrong with that at all. And that just shows the level of love and dedication to her husband. Look at that. Wearing
Right.
number 3.
Repping her man with the football. And also, Mina, the theme was actually American independence. So what's more American than football? Mina, your thoughts on that dress?
My thoughts are, if my Seahawks beat your Steelers, Stephen A., I'll wear that on first take.
Yes!
Get at me. I don't know how to get that dress.
Okay.
I'm with it, and she stole your line. Get at me.
I can do that. I can do
Okay,
that.
perfect.
I can take that.
I love it. Mina, thank you. Okay, guys.
Thanks, Mina.
Twitter's got jokes.
I'm one of the best basketball players in NBA history, a 10-time All-Star, an Olympic gold medalist, 3-time Olympic gold medalist, by the way, a national champion at the University of Syracuse, and now an author, obviously a philanthropist as well, and the newest member of the Los Angeles Lakers, the one and only Carmelo Anthony. What's going on, Big Time? How are you, man?
I'm just working, baby. That's it. I like the introduction, though. I'll tell you that.
I feel you. I like those glasses, by the way, but we'll talk about that another time. Where tomorrows aren't promised. That is the title of your new memoir. This book, I now.
Honestly, I just think that the timing is right to be able to tell that part of the story. I think the people that kind of grew up with me, my fan base who grew up with me from the day that I got drafted up until now, they knew little bits and pieces of that story. But I think, for me to still be tapped into a couple generations, the generation that's in front of me and the generation that's behind me and a younger generation, I just think I need to tell this type of story of just what it took for me to be in this situation, from surviving to lack of hope and then turning that over to hope. But I just want to give people that raw authenticity, outlook, perspective on me and what I had to do to get to where I'm at today.
Now, your name is Carmelo Anthony. Everybody knows you as Melo. And if for those who do know you, you truly can be very, very mellow. Nothing's ever too high. Nothing's ever too low. You seem as even keel as most people are not. Is that who you truly are, or is that just a facade that you put forth to get you through some of the tough times that you're going to allude to in this memoir?
Yeah, well, it's not a facade. It is, that's who I am at my core.
Right.
I think my upbringing and what I had to deal with in different experiences that I had to, go through, it made me get to that point where I'm super mellowed out and just, relaxed and just, I would say at peace. It's a peace. That's a great feeling to have. Some people call it, too mellow, but I say stay mellow at the end of the day. So I had to get to this point. It took a lot of work, for me to get to this point where, like you said, I'm just at even keel.
When do you believe you got to that point where you were even keel, where you were mellow, where you just embraced life as what it is, not too high, not too low, and something that you would just pile your way through? When do you believe you got to that point?
I would say over the past couple years.
Mm.
And I had to really, experience being out the league and kind of just hitting, rock bottom, so to say, in personal life, professional life. And I had to experience that. So I had to crawl my way out of that. I had to dig my way out of that darkness. So seeing that and being a part of that and experiencing that, seeing the other side of that where I'm at now, I'm definitely at peace, knowing what I had to go through and what I experienced.
When you went through it, you talk about the 2018-2019 season, 10 games in, the Houston Rockets decide to let you go. You're talking about having questions as to whether or not you were ever going to be in this league again. Did you have questions at any point as to whether or not you belonged in the league? I didn't, but and a whole bunch of your contemporaries certainly didn't have those questions about you. But did you have those questions about yourself at that particular moment in time?
Nah, I never doubted that. I never thought about should I be in this league or do I still belong in this league. I had to really kind of do the knowledge on the business of the league and the business of basketball and sports and people and just kind of taking it into another perspective than I had before. Before it was just playing basketball and doing what I do and being the face of multiple organizations. You didn't really think too much about anything. So, but now I got a newfound perspective on just the way that the game is supposed to be played, the business of the game, and just what I want out of it. I think I took back control of my own self and my own game and my own career to a point where I can have a different perspective now and a new outlook on things.
How helpful were some people along the way? And by that, I mean, I'm thinking about a guy like a Russell Westbrook that you played with in Oklahoma City, and people keep sleeping on the kind of businessman that he is and some of the big things he's doing off the basketball court as well. You've played with guys like him. Obviously, you've been friends with LeBron James, D. Wade, Chris Paul. You've been in Portland with a guy like Damian Lillard, who's been doing big things throughout his career. How helpful were those individuals in helping you reach that point?
Well, it was good, but I respect all of those guys for what they bring, and not just on the court, but off the court as well, and what they're into, what they're creating. But for me, I had to carve out my own lane, and I've always felt like that. Even since I was younger, I had to carve my own lane and figure out who I was and what I wanted to do and how I wanted to do it, and doing it my way. I think now, kind of just having that experience and being business minded now and seeing things from a different perspective, that's where I'm at. So because I had to do it, because I had to put the work in and do the work and talk to people and be comfortable with being uncomfortable and vulnerable, that's when I started to really discover who really and truly I am.
Let me transition to the basketball court because now you are a member of the Los Angeles Lakers. You've been back in the league for a couple of years, clearly reminding everybody of what the hell you can do on the basketball court. So there's no question about that now. Now you've gone from wondering whether you was going to be in the league to being back into the league to getting to the postseason to now being on a championship squad with championship expectations. That's the one thing that's eluded you in your entire illustrious career is a trip to the finals and obviously a championship. How are you feeling about being a member of the Los Angeles Lakers, even with everybody saying that y'all are the oldest team in the league, because y'all are?
Well, that's a fact. Ain't nobody saying nothing that's not a fact. We old as hell, Steve. You know that in basketball sense. But I just think that what we all bring to the table is a wisdom that a lot of people don't have. Like the way that we're going to be able to come together, hold each other accountable, have each other backs. We have the most knowledge on this one team than the whole NBA have, I think. So if we can't put that together and make something work, then that's on us. That's not on nobody else. And that's something that that I'm looking forward to. We all talk about it. We all discussed it. We know what's at stake. We're gonna have fun with this journey. We're gonna enjoy this journey. We're gonna embrace it. And I'm excited to do it, man. Because before, if I was just to walk away from the game before, then I'd have been at peace with that. I'd have been cool with that, knowing that, I tried to win a championship. It just don't work out for everybody. But now that perspective is totally different. Now I have to win. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. So I know what that does. I know the pressure that put on us as a team, as an organization. But what other pressure do you want? What other pressure we want? We want to go out there. We want to target on our back.
Is that your way of saying this championship a bust for this Lakers team this year?
It gotta be. It have to be. Like there's no playing around with that.
Now you do know that Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are in the same city, in the same arena for the Clippers, and on this side of town that you're very, very familiar with, Brooklyn, New York, there's KD, Kyrie, and James Harden. Some people will look at them and they say that's what's standing in your way from winning the chip. To that you say what?
Maybe it is. I can't take nothing away from what Brooklyn has built and what the Clippers has built and what, you can't take away what Milwaukee has done either. So everybody's getting better. Nobody's saying it's going to be easy, but this might be one of the most exciting seasons of the NBA in a long time. A lot of the teams have gotten better. They added pieces to their core group of guys. But I'm speaking on us. I only can speak on what we got to do and what we going to do. I can't speak on nobody else.
Carmelo Anthony, where tomorrows aren't promised. Bookstores now, Carmelo Anthony. Author Carmelo Anthony. Proud of you, my man. All the best. Look forward to seeing you soon.
Love, brother. I appreciate you.
All right.
Man,
Keyhawn, never one to be speechless. How about this one? Your alma mater, USC, fired football coach Keyhawn 2 days after the Trojans blown out by Stanford. Their athletic director said a national search for Helton's replacement will take place over the next several months. Keyhawn, do you have some key words for your former school?
You know what, Molly, I do. And the one thing that we need to do is get it right. We cannot afford to continue to fall behind the likes of Ohio States, the Clemsons, the Alabamas, even most recently LSU. We are a much better football program than we've shown recently. Oregon's coming into our own backyard, stealing our recruits. Hell, Ole Miss is stealing our recruits. We've got to put a net around our university, around our region, keep our players at home, but we must, and I'll say it over and over again, hire the right coach. Stop washing, repeating, rinsing, washing, repeating. Let's find the right guy so we can get back to national championships. Period.
I love that. Very cool. That was very collegiate and well done by you. I love your theme music.
You know, this is first take, but like I said, you know, certain things are not debatable. And you just listen to the level of wisdom that somebody else is dropping. And when it comes to USC, I ain't listening to nobody more than I'm listening to this man right here. And Bill Plaschke, who also for the Los Angeles Times wrote an outstanding column about how Helton needed to go. I will ask you this question because I was listening to your show this morning. James Franklin was mentioned by Paul Feinbaum. Of course, Mario Cristobal out of Oregon was mentioned, of course. And of course, people are throwing out Urban Meyer, waiting a year for him. Where do you fall as it pertains to a specific individual who USC needs to go after, if you have anybody at all?
I really don't, to be honest with you, Stephen A. I think what we have to do, first and foremost, is really get somebody, whether they black, white, purple, or green, understand what USC football is all about. I can take you all the way back to 1970. You know what happened in 1970?
What?
USC went down to the SEC country in Alabama, put a smacking on them. So essentially, USC integrated the SEC as a whole.
Wow.
We launched the SEC as it basically what it is today.
Right.
That's what our program is all about.
How the hell did this happen, though? How did it happen to the point where you
here's
have
what I was saying.
everybody saying this guy got to be a nice guy, but he got to go? How did that happen?
Nice guy, right?
Yeah, that's the first thing they say about it.
Because in the end, we needed to move on from the stain of Sarkisian and Lane Kiffin.
Okay.
Lane was immature, very immature. Steve had some personal issues.
Yes.
So we had to move on from that. This was a safe hire. Started off okay. We beat Penn State in the Rose Bowl, but we haven't been able, won a lot of games, but we haven't been able to beat anybody of significance.
Yeah.
We got run
You're
out
not
of
in
the
the
Cotton
national
Bowl.
picture. You're not in the national
No, not
picture.
at all. Cotton Bowl, run out of that.
Fiesta,
Played Alabama,
Fiesta Bowl.
run out of that. Fiesta Bowl, run out of that. It's like, we've got to do something totally different by getting somebody that really understands the landscape and what it means.
And to me, because Oregon's in your conference, because Washington's in your conference, because UCLA.
Well, Washington, they got problems of their own.
But I know they got problems. But what I'm saying is, plus you in Southern California,
Yes.
you should be able to recruit
A lot
at
of
USC.
talent, right, in your
You
state.
should be able to recruit at USC.
Molly, there's 5 quarterbacks that are at other programs that I can think of. Matt Corral at Ole Miss.
Okay.
DJU at Clemson. JT Daniels was with us. He left to go to Georgia for Kadon Slovis, who was a 2-star that came from Arizona. Bryce Young at Alabama. And CJ Stroud at Ohio State.
At Ohio State, yeah.
They all within 30-mile radius
Yeah, that's a problem.
of the university. That didn't happen in the past.
Right.
We would stack them up like Alabama.
Yes.
One after another. You got to sit and wait your turn.
That's right.
Think about the days of Matt Leinart, Carson Palmer, Mark Sanchez, Matt Barkley. Hell, Matt Castle played 12 years in the National Football League. Took a handful of snaps at USC. That's how good he was when Bill Belichick saw him.
So you need someone
he just
who can
never
recruit.
he never got a chance to play.
You need someone who can recruit, too.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
All right, let's keep it rolling here, fellas. The Cardinals routed the Titans Sunday. Keyhawn wasn't that impressed. I was. While there were plenty of reasons for the coach, Mike Vrabel, to dislike their Week 1 effort, Vrabel sounded off on a penalty by Julio Jones early in that game. Take a listen to this, y'all.
Critical mistake. I don't think that those are absolutely that's absolutely nothing that we coach or teach. So that would fall into the category of doing dumb that hurts the team. Right there in bold letters. Goes from 3rd and 1 to 3rd and 16.
Strong words for the superstar receiver. Let me add new receiver. Do you like, love, or hate Vrabel's comments?
I don't know what exactly led him to those comments. Right. Because when I look at why he got the penalty, he was playing football to the end of the whistle. He was being aggressive at the point of attack. He was taking a dude down as his running back was running the football.
Right.
You are taught as a receiver to not look behind you when you block it. Stay aggressive. So when I look at stuff like that, being a guy who's been in the locker room, played the position, understand coaches, I think there's something underlying there outside of him getting a 15-yard penalty that made Vrabel go off like that. Something. I don't know if he hadn't been practicing right. I don't know if he was complaining about getting the football, if he was being locked down when he running his route. It's something other than he got a 15-yard penalty. I can promise you that.
That's why I didn't have a problem with Vrabel saying what he said. Because I'm thinking about Julio Jones, and even coming into the season, when he only played 9 games last year, had about 771 receiving yards. The previous 6 years, he had a minimum of 1,394 receiving yards per season and was universally recognized one of the top 2 receivers in football.
Yes.
The previous 6 years. That's how big time Julio Jones is. Here's the downside. What you heard coming out of Atlanta, a guy that didn't practice much, a guy that didn't seem to be on the same page with the coaching staff, that frustrated the coaching staff because of his commitment to the work off the field. I'm talking about work.
I can understand that. No, I get it.
I don't know. I don't cover the Atlanta Falcons.
No, I get it.
You heard those things.
Understood.
And so if you're Vrabel, I've seen Vrabel as a football coach. He ain't never done that to no player before.
Yeah.
So why would you do it to a new dude who's Julio Jones, who you acquired in the offseason? There's got to be something there that has ticked you off about him on a personal level, because that was a personal shot.
Or a message,
that was a personal shot.
Message to the team as well.
A message to him.
He is from the New England Patriots.
Yeah, it's not really a message to the team. It's him personally.
It's him personally.
It's him personally because, again, Stephen A. mentioned injuries, things of that nature. Coaches don't like. I just gave up all this to get you.
That's right.
And I'm depending on you to keep my job.
That's right.
And if you are not available at times that I need you, it's going to frustrate me in certain situations.
And they've been ravaged with COVID and all of this other stuff. And so you're looking at it from the standpoint of an absence of continuity and cohesiveness that you need in order to be ready for a team when they come in there, like Arizona. And then on top of it all, I'm able to point the finger at you because I think you're doing things that you're not supposed to be doing.
But here's what I would say, and here's what I would say to that too, though. Mm-hmm. I would have preferred him to talk to him on the side if it was really about the 15-yard penalty.
Right.
Hey, man, you can't do that.
I agree.
You can't, you're hurting us.
But here's one thing.
But he didn't do that.
I'm sitting across from you. And I can't imagine a coach doing that to you. I just can't imagine it. So my whole point is, since they wouldn't do that, why would he do that to that guy? He must have tried to talk to him already.
Could have tried to talk to him already. Could have. But no, coach ain't going to do me that way, and neither are you.
That's right.
Because if you'd have did that, we'd have been scrapping.
Well, if you did that to me, we'd have been scrapping. So we on the same page.
I'm bigger than you.
That's why it's true. It's true.
You're a little lightweight, man.
Is this really happening right now? Let's get back to your Stephen A. list. How was that experience for you today? I'm just wondering, because you had Jeff and then Keyhawn, and then Mina
comes in.
Flew in from Bristol and just shot
I
you
will
down.
say they tried to be abusive towards me, but this is first take. That's why I sit in this chair, because I can take it. So ain't no big deal. They can keep coming. Next week I'm gonna come right back at them. You understand what I'm saying? And the week after that, and the week after that. I'm not scared of Jeff Saturday or Keyhawn or Mina, for crying out loud. you, Molly. I don't even know if I
But
can
let
do
me
that.
ask
I
you this,
just
though.
feed the second
Why
half.
all
Don't
of
bring
us
me into this.
disagree with your list, though? So something must be wrong.
I know, right?
Are you the
would
problem?
think that y'all
Is
gotta
it
get
a you?
something.
Is it a
Y'all gotta get it
Stephen A? Is
together.
it a you problem?
I don't think so.
Is that what he's
I don't think so.
trying to
Never
say?
that. Never that. Never that. Never me.
And,
I'm fine.
and you, the prognosticator, you're feeling good about your elite quarterback that,
No, Sam.
that you brought that up, and
Oh,
look
we
what Derek
good.
Carr did.
Oh, we
Please.
good.
Yeah.
He got all sensitive
He's
about
feeling good
Jalen
about
Hurts.
himself.
He got all sensitive.
We good.
He stuck his chest out
But
when
he's
he
got to do
started
it
the
next week
show.
against the Steelers, or I'll be back on Tuesday
right.
looking like a damn fool.
That's right. I'm glad you know that.
We all look like fools.